Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the IATC Exchange Zone podcast, presented, of course, by the Iowa Association of Track Coaches. It is October and the championship season, and here we go. 3 weeks to go in the season. Conference meet, state qualifying meet, state meet. This is what we've all been waiting for. As always, we're here in the makeshift studios of my basement. Kyle Wagner, how are you tonight?
Awesome. Like you just said, it's postseason, even postseason baseball like going on right now. It's an awesome time of year. So ready for these next couple weeks. Enjoy it. Have fun. Enjoy the ride.
This is what you've been training for since June. This is what your track season helps you with right here. So just go out there, athletes, and have fun. And let it go this week. We've got another fantastic week of weather. A little crisp in the air now, a little fall weather. A breeze today makes it feel like fall, and championship cross-country weather. Joel Bloomer's here tonight. We didn't get your camera yet. Joel is like a invisible talker. How are you, Joel?
I'm good. Had a good week. It was all good.
Good. How many miles did you run this week?
You don't want to know.
0?
0.
Oh.
Got him beat.
I did too. Thomas is here as usual, running the show, producing it, behind all the cords and the computers. So we are really excited for tonight's episode. So many things to cover. We got a great week of competition last week to look back on. And, of course, we're going to preview some conference championships that are on the schedule this week. As we always like to ask, if you could subscribe to the IATC Exchange Zone, we really would appreciate it. Our subscribers, we had a good week in subscriptions last week, so keep subscribing here to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook for IATC, and then, of course, our audio version of the Exchange Zone is on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. If you ever want to reach out to us, those are our email addresses. We got some really good emails this last week, and, of course, we want those as we head into our preparation for state qualifying meets next week. Tonight, let's start with this here. I'm going to show you my computer screen. This is what the process looks like for setting up these state qualifying meet sites. We're going to do a live look-in here and see if we can get this. I can just move it too. This is my computer screen. There's Madison and Andy from the Iowa High School Athletic Association and Girls Athletic Union. Lee Hammerhand is our 4A boys chair. And then that's my screen there. Here's Thomas. So anyways, they are meeting with our chairs. Started on Friday, finishing tonight. And they've just been doing a great job asking questions of our chairs and making sure that the sites are as accurate as possible. Kyle, couldn't ask for more and a cooperation between all of the parties here to make sure that these qualifying sites are set up the best way possible.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many people trying to lip read what Lee was saying right there, but you're right. All year, this isn't a 1-week process. So everyone that's a part of it the entire year, big thank you.
Yeah, our chairs are great. The IATC assigns a chair for each gender, and then they have 6 or 8 contributors that help them rank each week the teams. And then they collaborate with Madison, Andy, and myself throughout the year as we get ready for this important day. I think Tuesday might be the day, or Wednesday. I should have got a firm answer. Maybe I'll ask them before they're done. So the best thing I saw...
Wait till I leave.
Okay.
I'm Tuesday. I'm with everybody else. I think that should be known that I have nothing to do with any of those conversations. It's you, your laptop.
It's just me.
It's me. I'm not involved one bit.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the best thing I saw. How about this? The Iowa JV XC rankings. I ran across this on Instagram. And these guys have come up with a ranking system here for the JV division.
I love it.
It's pretty cool.
It gets our JV guys hyped up. They got all classes.
So these are the 4A girls team rankings. And then there's the top 10 right there for this week. Big week for JV conference coming up.
That's right.
And then some 3A JV team rankings. And they also have individual rankings. And this is a very popular Instagram account. They're getting a ton of comments and likes. They've got a lot of followers. There's some individual rankings there. There's a lot of arguments on there.
Sure.
Gets a little hostile. But a really cool deal. Just another layer of how supported this sport is in our state. I mean, you're talking about just all the people that go to the meets, all the people that listen to this or watch this podcast, all the people that talk on social media about cross country, and now this for JV athletes. It just shows how great the sport is.
They're going to have a podcast soon, probably.
They might. Maybe
No.
we'll add a segment, a little JV update.
That's awesome. Whoever it is, I have no idea, putting in the work, all that research. That's awesome.
And to piggyback off that, they are hosting the state JV championships on the 26th of October at Seminole Valley in Cedar Rapids. They say they have 5 or 6 schools committed with several others that are maybes, and they're going to be hosting this meet. I have emailed with them this week. Great people, and I told them we're going to promote it for them. We're going to give them a shout out. They will be posting more information about this JV state championship in the coming days. But hats off to them. They're doing a great job, and all. It's just a spot for everyone in this sport.
Oh, yeah. And putting a state meet together in less than 2 weeks, that's pretty impressive. They got some good event management careers.
Yeah, good for them. So that's the best thing I saw. A couple other quick announcements. That state middle school Washburn meet is a week from yesterday on Saturday at Ankeny Centennial. We are over 1,000 entries for the meet, and that deadline ends tomorrow. So if your team or athletes, parents haven't signed up yet for that meet, the deadline is tomorrow, and you can find the link. There's now a hot button link on our website, iowarunjumpthrow.com. And that meet, of course, is at Ankeny Centennial. And another reminder, the fall meeting for the coaches is November 17th at Northwest. Let's get to our quick question, Joel. Joel's got a good one. We told him to tone it down a little bit. No more controversy, although we might get some controversy on this, but go ahead.
Yeah, so this week's quick question is, what is your go-to sports drink? Gatorade, Powerade, Body Armor, or Prime?
Great question.
Mine's whatever my wife buys, but I think Body Armor tastes the best.
Okay. That would be my least favorite of the 4.
I'd have to agree. My least favorite is probably Body Armor. I usually go with Gatorade for the most part.
Gatorade seems to get really sugary.
Mm-hmm.
Vitamin water is my favorite, which is not one of the 4. Little lighter, more watery feel to it, taste to it, not feel. But first vote's in for Body Armor, so there you go.
Wasn't me.
All right. Let's get ready for our rankings boost. And Kyle, you've got some dandies here in a big week last week for rankings boost.
Yeah, what a week. We saw a lot of teams maybe hold 1 or 2 of their runners out. So these ones really stood out. Obviously, the City High boys finishing just 1 behind Cedar Falls, also taking down Cedar Rapids Prairie in the mix, and they also got Nicholas Lee back. So good week for City High. The Pella Christian girls. This might have been...
Coach Schwartz faked you out, by the way, on that.
When
you talked to him last week about Nick Lee.
He said there's a shot, I
I
thought.
thought you said no.
Oh, I can't remember.
My sign's not.
Oh, yeah, get your on-air sign. But Pella Christian girls taking down Albia by 10. That's a big boost for them this week as well. Unity Christian boys. Wow. They got back on their hot streak. They do beat ADM. The question is, are they the new number 1 in Class 2A?
I mean, after that performance at Fort Dodge, and we'll talk about the Fort Dodge meet in depth in a little bit, but we might not touch on Unity Christian just because it's primarily a 4A meet. I mean, they average a very good time there, 16:39 for their 1, down to 17:46 to their 5. It's going to be tough to match in 2A.
They are. And the way they go, they'll probably have a down conference meet.
Never
Then
know.
they'll have an up state qualifying week. But, man, if they perform like that, they are going to be very tough to beat. And then or do you want the last one? This is your team, I think.
Glenwood Girls,
Yeah.
I called it last week. They are dangerous. It's a really good team. They go out at Atlantic and beat Harlan by over 30 points for a nice little head-to-head victory there over Harlan.
Massive boost. I think they'll race
They were
again this
10.
week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that'll be a really, really good one, which we'll get to some conference meets here in a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. A lot of boosts this week. We've got more that we'll cover in a little bit, but those were the ones that really stood out. Welcome to the zone, and you're up again.
Let's lead off with Delaney Eldridge of West Marshall.
What a breakthrough performance. The
Man, freshman, big meet for her. Gets the victory at South Hardin over Jaden Peters, Caitlin Brandahorse, Kylie Rockholtz, many more, and she's unranked. I think she's going to jump into the rankings this week.
Yeah. Really big-time performance from Delaney from West Marshall State Center. Sawyer Minders of Pella Christian. How about this performance? He gets the win at Centerville, 16:08, and a nice 10-second win over Isaac Rankin, who's had a great year for Knoxville. Watch out for that name here in Class 2A, Sawyer Minders. Jackson Schleiklet, we're going to go with that, from Denver. He wins the Mike J. Invitational, 16:33, a 12-second win over a really good runner, Ty Munez from Columbus Community, Will Schmigdahl of Mediapolis, and Lincoln Bainbridge of Van Buren. Those are some really good runners there, Kyle. And he gets the victory at the Mike J. Invite. And then how about Lauren Hillsland of North Iowa? They obviously have the number 1 ranked boy, but Lauren had a great meet last week, and she came in unranked, and I think she's going to be in the top 15 for North Iowa Buffalo Center. Moving on, I've got a new segment here, Co-Gender Team of the Week. We're just flying through this. But we got a lot of good things to talk about here. So, this is the highlight teams who had a great week amongst both genders. Now, this doesn't mean that they're coached by the same coach, but both the boys and the girls had a breakout week. Start with the City High Little Hawks. Holy cow, Kyle. I pulled up those results, and they were just incredible. And it started with the 9-10 sweep, boys and girls, and the JV Conference Championship sweep.
Jeez, they have some depth.
Yeah. And this is a team, as you'll talk about in a little bit in MVC Super Meet Recap, the boys almost pulled the shocker of all shockers over Cedar Falls. The girls had their best race of the year, beating Cedar Falls by 36. Cedar Falls was ranked ahead of them heading into that meet. So a great day for the Little Hawks.
Yes, it was. Also a great week for Davenport Central. Man, what a week for them.
And a great season.
They have, quietly. You know, they don't maybe necessarily race a lot of the 4A schools. They do get some good battles in with some 3A schools. But both genders win meets on the same night, North Scott and DeWitt, which DeWitt's a pretty good boys team, so that's a good victory for them. Girls, you think they got a realistic shot of making that state meet?
I think they're going to be in the mix. It's going to be close because there's a log jam there, 15-20, and they're in that mix. And I'm going to guess, and I don't know this at all, but I'm going to guess they're going to have to beat one or two of those teams in that 15 to 20 to get to state. But they've set themselves up for a really good shot at it.
Absolutely. Then their boys have a very lethal combo.
Oh, yeah. They got to be
Zach
brothers.
and Tyler Ryan. They're running really, really well.
Sioux Center. Really good week for Sioux Center. The girls, they had wins at Cherokee and Rhinebeck, George Little Rock. And they got Audrina Jones back into the lineup this week, which is huge for them. This is a Sioux Center team in a Class 3A that outside of Pella, Mount Vernon, Glenwood, kind of that 2 to 10 is wide open. And they get Audrina Jones back. They're running really well without her. I think they're in the mix for a top 6 finish.
That's
coming in 9th right now.
Yeah, and 3A girls is wild. I feel like there's a lot of movement still to be seen, but you're exactly right. And I guess on that note, we'll stick in Class 3A.
Well, they're boys.
Oh,
they're boys.
Sorry.
First at Cherokee, and the runner-up to Bogie by 1 point at George Little Rock.
I think that the big, boost for them at the right time. But yes, now sticking to Class 3A. Mount Vernon, Lisbon, boys
Huge
and
week.
girls. Girls get the win at West Delaware, 65 to 98 over a sneaky Marion squad. Evelyn Mueller and Kirsten Swart running very, 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 very well for them right now. And then the boys get a nice victory over Owine. Oberding, another big win. He won that Williamsburg meet, now wins West Delaware. And then his teammate Dawson Shell also having a big year. And JV, little City High magic here. Their JV goes 1 through 7 at West Delaware.
I saw that. That's the first thing I saw, actually, from that West Delaware meet was their JV going 1 through 7, showing the depth that team has outside of the fact that they're a top 3 team. And a lot of youth in that depth. So that's good stuff from Mount Vernon, Lisbon. All right. Last one here, and then we're going to get to our interview with Coach VanRoekel of Lake Mills. She'll be joining us here momentarily. But our last little segment here is Welcome to High School. And I was just looking at results, and I noticed that there are some freshmen on here that we have not talked about outside of that Fab Freshman list that we started the year with. And let's start with these girls right here. Ella Jones of Northwest, Waukee Northwest. Kyle, this is a girl who's having a huge season for the Wolves. Since that first meet at Ames, she's been in the top 10 in every race, and that includes massive meets like Marshalltown, Heartland, Southeast Polk, and Fort Dodge. Watch out for this young freshman, and these are all freshmen, by the way. Ella Jones of Northwest. Ava Hope of Winterset, I know you've seen her run. What a spectacular season for this freshman for the Huskies. She's been 16th in Class 3A. She's finished their last 3 races 5th, 3rd, and 4th for Winterset.
That's a big help for them. I think they've been one of the most surprise teams in Class 3A, maybe compared to preseason rankings. Their top 4 is very solid, and she's a big part of that.
And then Ashlyn Rao of Harlan, they raced the other night at Atlantic, and Hope was just ahead of Rao. But Ashlyn Rao of Harlan's had a great year for the little, what are they, the little Cyclones?
Harlan?
Harlan Cyclones,
Yep.
just the Cyclones. So Ashlyn Rao, and she's been able to sit behind Sonderman this whole year and probably learn a lot too, and I think that'll help her in the future. And then the last one here, how about Julia Swift of Bishop Garrigan? Top 6 finisher in every race this year. She is creeping up those 1A rankings. I think she might be approaching the top 10 this week. So those are some freshmen that we have been noticing each week in the results that maybe we haven't highlighted this year that are having huge teams or huge seasons for their teams so far this season. All right, let's bring in our guest, Coach VanRoekel of Lake Mills. Coach, how are you doing tonight? Can we hear? Are you muted, Coach? There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
got it. Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing great. So glad to have you on. We've talked about Lake Mills the last couple years, and also this year we've been talking about them quite a bit. But Coach, talk to us a little bit about your team. I mean, what a season last year. And I'm going to kind of tell our listeners here real quickly. You took over this position 3 years ago. Is that correct? 3?
Yep, 22 season.
22 season. In 22, Lake Mills qualified for the state meet for the first time in school history. Last year, they win a state championship, and this year they've been ranked number 1 unanimously the whole year. I mean, what a first 3 years. Could you script that any better?
No, it's been a dream. Last year was a dream season, and this year continues that dream. It's been amazing.
Well, Coach, you have an interesting background at yourself as a coach. Grew up a basketball and softball player, played college basketball and college softball. Tell the listeners about how you landed this cross-country position, and did you ever think that you would be in this spot as a head cross-country coach, winning a state title and looking to defend your title?
Yeah, never in my wildest dreams. I never even considered cross-country until my kid decided in 7th grade to go out. I didn't know anything about it. So I decided to joined it as a mom, loved it. It's such a fun sport. Everybody cheers for everybody. It's just amazing, and it's so exciting to run around and cheer everybody on. In 2020, end of 2021, our coach decided to leave her position as the head coach, middle school, high school coach, and no one was picking it up. And I had taken that year off. I coached basketball. This might be my 20th year coaching basketball. And I'd taken that year off to watch my son play basketball. And I decided no one was picking it up, and I didn't want anybody else to be forced to do it that wouldn't want to be in there. And so I talked to my son and said, "Do you want me to do it? Like, I'll do my best. We'll learn what we can." And yeah, he said, "Sure." So I picked it up in the spring of 21, and then started researching like crazy. I talked to a Waldorf coach back then. DJ Wolfram is now at Forest City. Interviewed him. He was a great help. I interviewed a couple other people, another state champion team from the girls' side at Cedar Rapids Xavier. His name's Brian Ernst. And so I just started looking up online anything I can. Got a volunteer coach that fall that ran cross country, Grant Deacon, who's now my assistant, and he filled me in with a lot of data. So we just started learning like crazy. And my main thing is self-belief, I guess. Believing in yourself, believing what you can do, but being confident, but humble, and going after it every day and doing what you can. And just the spark was lit when they realized that we have a chance as a team that first year. I kind of did some data. I looked at last year's Newman qualifying site and said, if you take these seniors off and we run these times, we have a chance to potentially make state. And it kind of blew them away. But that was the spark that lit them, and the belief that they could do something as a team and get there as a team. And ever since, man, it's just been a wild adventure of them working hard and that confidence growing.
So you guys are definitely in the mix here this season again. What's the approach look like the next couple weeks?
We have a huge meet tomorrow. We're at Forest City tomorrow. It's conference week 2. So we've only seen Forest City once this year. Seen Garner a couple times, and they're obviously very good squads. And so we actually get along really good, especially with the Forest City team. My boys run with them sometimes, and they're good kids. But tomorrow will be a big indicator. You know, we're going to go hard, obviously, tomorrow. Rest the next couple of days, just some like shakeouts and stuff pre-meet. And then Thursday's a huge conference meet. And we'd only won conference one time in school history, and that was last year. So try to defend that, but we have a lot of tough competition. So going out hard, believing in ourselves, believing what we can do. But again, I'm huge about staying humble and just doing our best and showing what we can do on the field and not with our mouths and going after it. So I'm so proud of the boys, and they've caught on to this. They understand this. They're very confident in themselves, but I think they just play that humble role really well, because I don't want to be cocky. I'm not into that. I'm about sportsmanship. So I just love that we go out there and show what we can do on the course itself. And just the belief, like my 5-1 last year ran a 1930, I think, at state. And now he's breaking 1815, and he's getting better every day, you know. And if you look at the first year I coached these kids at state, my 22 season to last year, two out of my top 5 people dropped a minute and a half that one season. And now they're dropping again, 30 plus seconds. So they put in more time and effort. They believe it's a sport. They believe in our school spirit and wanting to do this for the Lake Mills Bulldogs. And competing as a team is our number one goal, and individual stuff will come with it. But focusing on the team, and then like I said, they put so many hours of running this summer, and it's lit a spark, and they're running with it. So it's so fun.
I think there should be a bonus trivia question for Joel, since he fires all of them at us, to find Lake Mills on a map.
Yes.
I know where it's at.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Joel.
Joel.
Yeah, being from like
Joel,
Waukee
Do
down
you think it's north, east, south, or west?
I don't think I could tell you.
North.
That's awesome. But if we had a emailer of the week, I think it would have went to Madison this week. She provided a lot of intel for us about your team. So can you tell us about who some of your key runners are on the team and who have helped get you guys to this point?
Yeah, so we have luckily lost our number one runner last year, Justin Rigg. He graduated, so he was key for us. He was that really quick person, 16, 14, or whatever. He broke the school record last year at state. So we returned everybody else basically in our the rest of the 5, 6 that we had. So basically, Newt Rogney is a big one that came in as a new superintendent, came his freshman year, and so that was huge for our program. He's cut off a bunch of time. He's running in the 16s. I think 16:45 the last meet, and he had 16:31 the meet before. Hayden Thompson, who was our 4 last year, has cut off a bunch of time. His record last year was 17:14. He ran a 16:20, 31, and then 16:45 this last meet as well. VanRoekel, who is my son, he is in the high 16s, usually 1650s right now. So our top 3 can get in the 16s, which is huge for us. Stephen Brandenburg, who's our 4. I'm very proud of him. A football player by nature who got an injury freshman year, and he's joined us because he couldn't play football, and it's been a huge benefit. He went from 19s before. Last year he ran an 18 flat. Now he's down to 17:30. Hoping to get to 16s is his goal. We'll see. He's doing really well. And then Royce Peterson's our 5 right now. Again, last year ran a 19-something at state. First year ever out for cross country. He's a sophomore. He's a junior this year, and every meet he's cut down his time. Every single meet, except for one meet this last time. He had a little sickness during the meet, so a little slower, but he still ran at 18:17. So he's running around 18:10, 18:15 right now. So he's our 5. And our 6 Lane Rigg is a sophomore, and he's cut down to around 18:30s. And so kids that had to step up this year, we needed a 5. We really needed a 5. And so these 2 boys, Royce Peterson and Lane Rigg, have stepped up. And so they just keep running and cutting those times. I just think I'm excited to see what it'll bring and what the future brings for this team coming the next 3 weeks.
What kind of training do you guys like to use, and how has your training changed since you've been a coach? Do you guys have like a go-to workout, or do you guys have like mileage that you try to base stuff off of?
In the summer, summer workouts is all about miles. We just put miles on our legs as much as we can. We don't do a lot of speed at all during the summer workouts. We meet twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays usually, and the rest are on their own. And my main 3 to 4 boys are running 6 days a week on their own. Then once we get in the season, we focus on 1 or 2 red days a week. The red days be a hard workout. So we're going to do a tempo, or we're going to do a fartlek track workout, 600s, or we do hill workouts. That's all during the beginning of the season. And then we have the rest are maybe 1 yellow at the most, or usually green. So greens are long runs, easy runs. So we like to try to get 1 long run in a week, especially in the first month. That's a DJ Wolfram thing for Forest City. He taught me about long runs and the importance of that. So we do try to get a long run in once a week. And then now, once we start season, we do run 10 meets this season. So we do have, this is our 3rd week. We'll have 2 meets in a week. So we really are only running meets and then post-meet and pre-meet stuff to get our legs shaken out and just get another, 30-minute run in. And so I guess I'm willing to talk to anybody, and I'm not by any means the best or the most knowledgeable about cross country. I'll admit that 100%. I learn what I can, and I've done the best I can. And with my assistant coach, Grant Deacon, and, we work together. He's taught me a lot at the beginning when I first started. And so I'm doing my best, and I think the kids have bought in, and they usually run a day on their own on the weekend. But yeah, I'm still willing to take tips, and any information anybody's got, that'd be great. But I don't know if that helps or that answers your question.
I want to run for you, Coach. You get me excited.
I get a little excited. That's what I'm
My
screaming,
goodness.
I'm yelling. Yeah, like it's it's a fun thing. And, and I only have 4 girls out this year because we have a very competitive volleyball team. But it's so fun to cheer them on too. I'm their coach too. And I just love their attitude and their drive. And I just go after and cheer them on. And just to see the improvements, individual goals and their improvements each week. And, our JV team has won a few meets as well. 'Cause we have 13 runners total. So it's younger kids and it's fun to see them growing. And my one kid ran a 19, what did he run? 19:33 the last meet. So that's pretty good. He was my 8th runner. So, he's usually my 9th at 1:06. So he's my 9th runner running at 19:33. So it's pretty fun. These kids just bought in and they love it and they work together. Like I love that they work together. They run together. A lot of them, I have a clump of 6 or 7 usually running together now. And that team shift, the team mentality, focus on them. And you might have a rough night and you're going to have some rough nights, but you got to focus on the team and how you're helping them. And not necessarily always about your time. And they've really bought in. It's just super fun. I love this season. And being a mom, I have to say, I have a senior now. My son's a senior, and it's so fun to be a mom and a coach of this and to be along every day for the whole moment, every experience, every joy, every success. It's been a blast.
Okay, last couple of questions for you, Coach. Obviously, everyone is interested in workouts and, how do you get your kids ready from a conditioning standpoint? But let's take away the workouts. What is one thing that Lake Mills does really well to be able to compete at such a high level? It might be a mental performance deal, nutrition, some sort of extra thing that you guys do that you feel like gives you an advantage when you take the course.
I think it's just a constant talk about believing in themselves and being confident. And being humble. Like those are our main things. Confident of yourself. Know that you can do this and know that we're there no matter what, and just knowing that we're going to work hard every day and they have that mentality. We're working hard. We're going to have fun. We are going to have fun and we try to have fun. We probably try to play games at the end of practice sometimes and do things together that way. And just staying humble is a big thing. I just don't want these kids to, I just don't like unsportsmanlike conduct or cockiness or whatever. So I'm just trying to really teach the life skills. Like these are life skills their whole life. Trying to teach them to be young men of character, and so that it leads in their whole rest of the life. So I guess I wouldn't know if we do anything special except for the communication and our philosophies and our talking and reiterating things that we want to believe in and to go out hard and to believe in themselves and have confidence, but be humble and take every day one day at a time and go after it and be a part of that team. I know there's a lot of kids in our group that have a strong faith. And so that's kind of cool. They've connected to that. And in their own little group, they do their own things, which is super awesome that they have something connecting them, which is really nice too. And I think that kind of helps with the mental side of things also, just having that extra faith behind it. So.
Wow. Well, this has been really good, Coach. We're really happy that you joined us tonight. I know Kyle's been wanting to get the boys on sometime,
Yes.
and I was like, well, we'll just go with the coach. But you've got 4 guys currently ranked in that top 30, and you guys are just having a phenomenal season. And we hope that it ends well for the Bulldogs. So, anything else to add?
First time in school history that everyone, more than one championship in a sport. We were the 3rd ever in our school history of winning a state championship. We had a wrestling back in 2000 and then state golf for boys a couple years ago. And then we were the first. So it was pretty cool. So we have some goals and that obviously is a goal to win a state championship, but we got to look at it one day at a time and not take anybody for granted and go out there and run hard. So.
That's great. Well, enjoy these last 3 weeks with the squad, and we'll see you down the road at Fort Dodge.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, Beth Van Rorkel, head coach of Lake Mills, and it's always so fun to have a coach on and one that has had a ton of success for just 3 years into this, and she didn't have a cross-country background.
No.
So I wanted to start with that. I mean, she just got thrown this job, said take it, basically, and she just learned herself how to do it, and she's made this program into a really, really good 1A team.
Right, just using your resources, but that's a good coach right there. Like, she cares about those kids.
Really good.
That job would have sat there for a long, long time until someone was like, oh, I guess I'll do it. So for her to, like, not have a cross-country background and just put all of her energy and effort into, okay, how do we train for cross-country? And boom, this team's rock solid. So, Bulldogs, you got an awesome coach.
They sure do, and they will look to defend their state title here in 3 weeks. I think an overwhelming favorite as of right now. We're not going to do any predictions at this time, but it could be a lock of mine coming up. I'm going to throw it out there. It could be a lock for me coming up, but this is a team that is really good, and they have a huge week. They run a Forest City on Monday. I forgot about that, and then they got their conference meet. So let's get to our in-depth meet recaps, and we'll start with the big one in Fort Dodge. First off, Fort Dodge.
I know where you're going.
Kyle, I called and talked to 3 different people. I didn't go to the meet. I forgot. I have a 4th block class, so I don't get out till 3:15. So I just didn't have time to get up there. But I tried to communicate with people at the meet, and in all 3 separate people I was talking to, all 3 of those calls at one point got dropped. I don't know what it is, but the cell phone reception and the internet is so bad at Fort Dodge that I got to think that at some point they're going to have to move away from there unless it gets fixed.
I thought that was an off-season project, was putting more high-speed internet up there, because I got home from practice, opened
Cal
the results.
couldn't even post the results
So he
till
probably had to
7:30.
I say he probably had to stop at like Quick Star and use their internet and get it. But yeah, same thing. I got home and pulled up results, and it's not Cal's fault.
No.
None, like, put that out there. Same thing. I clicked Varsity Girls, I think. No results. Clicked JV. I was like, those got to be done. Nope. So
It's a big problem in today's world of technology and how we rely on technology. I have to think, and I haven't talked to Madison or Andy, I have to think that when now they're in a contract with the Fort Dodge for the state meet, but when that contract is up for renewal, and I don't know what that date is, I think it's 2 or 3 years left, that has to be brought to the table. I mean, because you're talking about the inability to post results, live stream, your inability to really communicate with anyone. I think it's a big problem. And as we get more into technology every year, which we do, it becomes a bigger problem.
And I'm trying to remember with Wyzetta there last year.
It worked, but I don't think it's crisp as what they would like. And I have to ask Josh, their owner, but I don't know. There's no way you could live stream there. Absolutely no way.
And I think that was a big topic at our fall meeting last year.
Yeah. So, anyways, just had to say that. It's just so frustrating. So frustrating. All right. We had a good meet, though. It was a really good 29-team invitational. And we'll start with the girls. Is that who you have up first? You got the boys. We'll go boys first. Boys, Kyle, it seems like a broken record with Dowling.
You don't know how they do it?
I don't know what more we can say. Like, I just feel like we're here every year, and then it's just the same thing.
I don't know.
To say.
Like, I don't know. Norwalk's pretty good. Ankeny's pretty good. Obviously, Northwest and Centennial beat them. Well, Ankeny didn't have Ike Smith. And I know Cedar Falls had City High, Cedar Rapids Prairie, so maybe a little tougher competition with full lineups, but that was dominant.
41 points.
Yes. 5 in the top 15, all 7 in the top 19. They had 7 in before Norwalk had 3 in.
And Norwalk's got a chance to podium as a top 3 team. So
you just shake your head.
I know. Jack Flory, we get to October, and this guy becomes like, it's just like the bigger the meet, the better Jack Flory is. It's been like this for 4 years. He's now a senior. He did this as a freshman.
Well, those two get talked about a lot. Look at the rest of their lineup.
I know.
Any of those other 5 ever been mentioned?
I have a little research on that. Charlie Deek, wasn't even out last year from what I've seen, or he moved. But he was 8th in this race. And then John Luca Castillo Mora was a JV runner last year for Dowling. He's running 5th. All 5 of their guys in the top 30 right now in the IATC rankings. I mean, it's incredible. It really is. We've said for 10 months that this is the year, if there was a year that Dowling is susceptible to lose. And this year, they're proving that maybe they're as big a favorite as they've been since we've been doing the show together.
Yes.
So, there you go. Jack Flory, 2nd, his best race of the year. And his teammate, Owen Wolf, has been really solid as well. Norwalk, Centennial, also had good days, I thought. Norwalk was 2nd, and they had their full lineup together. Anania back, a nice run for him, under 16 minutes. Tegan Kralik has had a sensational year for Norwalk. He's been really solid at that in one spot, the junior for the Warriors. Northwest was 3rd, 157. I thought they had their best meet of the year. Kellen Tolles and Janie Levitz were really good. And then Aiden Gabrielson, he was also in the top 15 for the Wolves. That was big for them. And then Centennial. This is a Centennial team that's been way up in early September. They've been down for most of the time, and here they kind of had another big jump. So those were the top 4. And what really was just a race dominated by Dowling. Ankeny, without Ike Smith, they were in 5th.
Man, Lewis Central with a big day, taking down Johnston, Waukee.
Yeah, I've got that in the quick hits coming up.
Okay. Do you have anything on Indianola later?
Yep.
Okay, then I'll leave that one alone.
Yep. Let's go to the girls. And this is another race that was dominated from a Johnston team who's really, over the last 4 weeks, Kyle, just slowly improving. You know, they did not have a good race at Griak, I didn't think. Definitely probably not what they had hoped for that day. Since then, they have really ran well, and they keep getting better.
Yeah, and that's a nice spread, 3 through 7. You know, when you can do that, you have that safety net.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they'll need it with Pleasant Valley, but they're looking really set up to be a strong contender for a podium finish.
Alex Woodley, her best race of the year. She was 3rd in this meet, 18:23. Her teammate Grace Beeson, 18:44 for 4th. And those two really spearheaded this Johnston victory. Centennial was 2nd with 80 points. They match up pretty well with Johnston, about 15 to 20 seconds at every spot behind Johnston, with not a big advantage, but a slight advantage at that first spot. So I think Centennial's in a really good spot, Kyle. I think, you know, if they can close the gap at those 3, 4, 5, 6 with Johnston, they're going to be in the mix for a trophy.
I think so, too, and obviously very well coached. So is Johnston. So is Valley, well, you'll probably talk about next. All 3 of those teams are going to get better the next couple weeks.
Valley is one to keep your eye on. This is their best performance of the year, 127 points without Bergman. Did not compete in this one. I think she'll be back this week. Really solid pack. And you got to remember, Claire Lights, she was 15th last year at the state meet individually. Vogel and Mills, veteran runners for Valley, top 50 runners at the state meet last year. So you throw Bergman in there, and you've got 4 girls with legitimate, you know, top 20 to top 35 places. And that'll be in the mix for a top 5 finish and possibly a trophy. And if you remember, last year they snuck in and got a trophy out of nowhere. So I think Valley's probably feeling pretty good. Ankeny, 144. Beeson and Medetzky. How about the season Medetzky's had? 49th last year in 4A. She was 6th in this meet, right behind her teammate Drew Beeson. So a nice little 1-2 punch for the Little Hawks, or for the Hawks, excuse me. And then at 5 was Northwest at 161. And I thought, you know, they had a pretty decent day. They're getting their lineup back together, so I think that's another team to watch out for this week at CIML. And then how about Dowling Catholic? Just getting better and better. They've combined that program. Ives has taken over the girls, and this is a girls Dowling team that I think will be in the top 10 this week and improving each week. Individually, it was Piper Messerly winning this one by about, 5 seconds? 6 seconds
7,
over
yep.
Annika Moorhauser. I heard Woodley had the lead for the first half of it, and then Messerly and Moorhauser took over that. But Messerly was the winner. Moorhauser and Woodley in the top 3. And Haley Veem of Centennial, to point that out as well, a 7th place finish. And how about Richmond? Alyssa Richmond of Manson Northwest Webster and Addison Bertrand of Bishop Heelan in the top 10 there for this big meet at Fort Dodge. Good races for them.
Absolutely.
Those are definitely top 10 or top 5 performances in their classes if they just run that time right there.
Oh, yeah. You know, Richmond's got Steinus coming up in a couple weeks. That's a good sign for her to be in the mix with her.
Bertrand after the Pella girls and Sonderman.
Yep.
And Berglund of Glenwood. So,
And Zuber, I don't think we talked individually on the boys' side, but he got the
yep.
win there. Sorry if you did, but I missed it.
I don't know if I did, now that I think about it.
It's okay. Zuber won.
We've said that a lot. All right, let's go to MVC.
The super meet. I remember freshman year, my roommate went to senior, and he's like, let's go watch the super meet. And I'm like, what's the super meet? It's a super meet.
And the boys was a super meet.
It was. You want to start boys then?
Yeah, I think you have to.
Let's do it. Well, first, everyone thought Merrick Nauman. It's going to be one of those two to win the race. They did go 1-2, but how about Decker? He hung on tough with Nauman. Merrick did get about a 10-second victory, but man, Decker throwing his name in there. We know he's good, but Tony, I know this one's for you. But Decker looked very, very impressive this week. We did talk about Cedar Falls a little bit, getting that 1-point victory over City High. I'm shocked that they were only 1 point back. You know, the big difference with Cedar Falls this year, normally their spread's about 25 seconds, right? This one was 1:33. So that's a big jump for them. Again, City High second, Cedar Rapids Prairie coming in third. 89 points. They get Nicholas Lee back. Hopefully he can continue the next couple weeks. Kennedy at number 4 with 129 with a little upset over Dubuque Senior. Do you think Kennedy Senior or Liberty can steal a bid next week?
Kennedy's probably my favorite there to do that.
That's a good pick. Seniors looked good all year. Liberty's got some potential, definitely, with
Adam
Decker up
Gray's
top.
running better and better each meet for Kennedy to go along with Slater.
Yeah.
I mean, they got two guys there at 15:20, 15:26.
Are
Where
you-
was this at? Seminole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we go to the girls, does this worry you with Cedar Falls?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I don't think so. I like it. I think a little wake-up call is good. And, you know, they've had some guys in and out of the lineup the last 3 weeks. I think everybody ran, but they might not have been at full strength. I'm not worried about them. They're going to get a nice tune-up this week at the divisional meet. They'll be ready for a state qualifying meet. I mean, I'd be looking at the Dowling results. I'd wonder how we're going to beat Dowling, but I don't know if that's what they're worried about right now.
All right. On to the girls. Dubuque Senior, another great meet. 4th and 4A. They put 4 in the top 8 here. Taking down City High. City High with a big upset over Cedar Falls. I did not have them beating Cedar Falls, let alone by this much. But they beat Cedar Falls 58-98. Cedar Falls, again, led by Charlie Gall. She extends her win streak individually. And behind them is Lindmar. Team that another one. This is going back to that boys question, is this a team you think
Bubble team.
you think they have a shot next week?
I think they're in the mix with Prairie and Central, depending on where they split those teams up for state qualifying meet. But absolutely. I mean, I think one or two of those teams is going to make it, and they're going to have to beat, somebody to go. So I think definitely.
I think it's going to be really, really close.
Liberty in that mix, too.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Anything else from MVC?
I don't think so. I mean, City High boys and Prairie, hats off to them because they ran incredible on that day. And City High's got a lot coming back next year. I think Prairie's pretty young, too. So,
and it is nice to see because even football, but the CIML is like the dominant conference in football and cross country, and now we get some more Eastern Iowa schools saying, "Hold on a second, don't count us out in that podium conversation."
Absolutely. No, I thought it was a good meet. I had fun tracking that on my phone with the live results, and really, really impressive day over in Cedar Rapids. Let's go to Bloomer Trivia, and this is a good one. I think this will be one where people get it correct. Still waiting on the hats. Thought I'd be able to show them tonight, but not here yet.
All right. The trivia question for tonight is, who is the only Iowa female to win 4 state titles?
Okay. The only Iowa female to win 4 individual state titles in cross country. You can throw it in the chat. First one to get it right wins. And we'll go to that in a little bit. I think we're ready for spinner time.
It's back.
We had a lot of good comments about the spinner. This week's spinner is about the conference championship meets around the state. We picked 6 or 7, and here we go.
All right, here we go.
We already got the forecast up for, it's not spinning.
It's done now. NICL winner.
North Iowa Cedar League. Is it? There we go. Just a quick spin. So, we'll do a girl and a boy. And on the girls' side, we're going to see that Sumner-Fred Hudson rematch that we just saw this week. I feel like they run against each other every week. And Kyle, I'm going to go with Sumner-Fred for the girls' winner.
That's a good pick. Hudson's coming on strong. Man. Yeah, I'm going Sumner-Fred too.
Sumner-Fred. And on the boys' side, Denver?
Yes.
Or Olwine?
Denver.
Olwine just beat them. You feel like Denver's back?
Denver's back. Sticking with Denver.
Denver
Close.
ranked 8th in the power rankings. Olwine 9. And I'm going to go with Denver as well. So 2 for Denver, 2 for Sumner-Fred. We're ready.
All right, here we go.
There's the spinner.
Hawkeye, girls, Glenwood, and Harlan, and Lewis Central.
Oh. Hawkeye 10, girls champion. Glenwood, Harlan, or Lewis Central? Hey, are you typing him in the are you doing
No.
a forecast over there?
No, I'm not. I'm pulling up my other spreadsheet.
I got to go with the hot hand, Glenwood. I mean, they easily took care of Harlan last week. So I'm going to say Glenwood. But I think it'll be closer.
Yeah, a week ago I definitely would have went Harlan or Lewis Central, but right now you ride the hot hand, that's Glenwood.
These are easy, Joel.
Who picked these questions? The spinner.
The spinner did.
River Valley, Mid Prairie, Tipton.
Now we're getting serious.
All right. Pulling up what I wrote down. This is going to be a good one. Steinis back in the lineup. She looked really good on, was that Thursday or Saturday? Thursday. No.
Saturday
she was
morning
at North Lynn.
North Lynn.
North Lynn. That's a good time at North Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of turns there. I think she makes this close, but Mid Prairie's got a deeper team, so I'm going to go with Mid Prairie.
I feel like the Tipton core has got better since early in the season when Mid Prairie did beat them by 12. I think Tipton gets them back this week.
Wow. You're going with an upset.
Upset. That's right.
Okay, I like the pick. That would be a number 1 going down, correct? They number 1? No, Van Meter, sorry. Van Meter's 1, Mid Prairie's 2. Tipton at 4. You might be right. Smaller meet too. So, okay. All right, we're ready for the next one.
CIML and the race for second.
All right, so we're just assuming Dowling boys are winning and Johnston girls. I do think the Johnston girls isn't nearly as wide of a margin as the Dowling boys are, but they are the heavy favorite.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys first. Second place boys team. To me, it's between Ankeny or Northwest. Who are you going with?
The Wolves. I think they're starting to click at the right time, especially if Ike Smith's out. That's a big piece there. But
Oh, yeah.
even if he is back, I'll still go with the Wolves.
Now, remember last year, Ankeny almost upset Dowling. Or did they upset him at the conference meet?
Ooh, that I don't remember.
Joel, do you remember? It
I
was
do
at
not.
Ankeny. I'm going to look that
Say
up.
you check that. You need that before you make your pick.
I'm going to go with Northwest as well. I just don't know Ike Smith's status. If he ran at Fort Dodge and it was a small victory for Northwest, I'd probably go with Ankeny, but I'm going to go with Northwest. On the girls' side, this is a Centennial Valley. If we maybe think Bergman's back in the lineup, I think that closes the gap on Centennial. Probably Centennial or Valley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Centennial.
Yeah, Valley's like Northwest boys starting to click at the right time. Small chance, or there's a chance of an upset there, but I do think Centennial's even going to close that gap on Johnston.
I agree. Tough course, too, at Southeast Polk. That'll be an interesting situation because it is a very hilly course. So see how teams handle that. Not to scare anyone.
Iowa
Hey,
Alliance
here we
winner.
go. Let's go. Alliance Conference. Girls first. I think it's Ames, Mason City, or Roosevelt. Go.
Easy pick for me.
Riverhawks?
Mason City.
All right. And I'm going to go with Ames. They only lost to Mason City by 10 the other day. Marley Turk did not run. Rizdal was not in the final results. I'm going to assume that one of them runs, and I think if that happens, they close the gap. So I'm going Ames.
Big Mason City guy over here.
Okay. And on the boys, Joel's already ready to. Big one, Ames or Marshalltown.
Sorry, Ravi. Marshalltown.
Going with the Kittens. All right. Marshalltown, and I'm going with Ames. Too much depth. Marshalltown, good up front, though. Preston Johnston having a great year.
Yeah. Hopefully, Bobby's running. Brendan's running for Ames.
That's right. All right, what's our last one?
Last one is Siouxland Conference winner.
This one I might be most excited about. Girls meet. You've got Unity Christian, MOC. Who else do we have there on the girls' side? I'm going to find it. Too many pieces of paper.
I know.
Here it is right here. Siouxland Conference. You're looking at Sioux Center. We're doing girls first. Unity Christian or MOC. MOC, the defending champs. No. Sioux Center, the defending champs. Tough one.
If MOC's full squad, fully healthy, I'm going MOC. They ran without their number 4 this week. But if they're full squad, I think they get it done.
And I'm going with Sioux Center. Audrina Jones back in the lineup. I'm going with Sioux Center to defend their title.
All right.
And in the boys, you got the same teams that we just mentioned. All are ranked. You add in Okoboji, I believe, right? Are they in the Siouxland?
That I do not know off the top of my head.
I think they are. So, MOC Floyd Valley, the defending champions last year. Is Boji in there?
I didn't look, but
Okay.
it doesn't change my pick. While you look, I know based off history, Unity is due for a down week. But I think they turn the tides this week, have 2 back-to-back good weeks in a row. They return to their dominant winning ways and get the victory here.
Okoboji is in the Siouxland Conference. I like your pick, Kyle. Unity Christian looked really good last week. But I'm going to go with the depth of MOC Floyd Valley. I think they're going to defend their title, and I think they win this one.
This will be a fun week. Did Joel miss one on the spinner? I thought I had one more.
I don't think he did.
Oh, I thought we had RRC girls.
Can I take my pick back?
Yes,
I'm
you
going to
can.
go with Sioux Center for a sweep.
Ooh.
Sioux Center just beat MOC Floyd Valley by 14 the other night.
Yep. And they beat Spirit Lake that night, too,
Only
I
had
think.
5 runners finish. That makes me a little nervous there for Sioux
But
Center.
their JV was full squad.
Caden Cooker having a great year for Sioux
Mhm.
Center. Give me Sioux Center.
All right.
All right. Good spinner. Is that it, Joel?
That was all of them.
All righty. Quick hits, and then we're about done. It's been a quick episode tonight. You're up first with Indianola. You've got some concerns about the Indianola boys.
Yeah, no Robideau for the last month. He was
the freshman.
big reason, their hot success early in the season, and haven't seen, I don't know. I don't have any intel, but he changes the whole outlook of the rest of their season, in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't have the depth of some of these 4A programs, so when they miss someone, it's a big miss. Now, they're hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been what they were, but I don't think they've fallen off enough to maybe be at jeopardy of not making the state meet. Finished 9th at Fort Dodge, but they are sliding.
Yeah. You're right with that difference in depth compared to those other 4A schools, in my opinion, too.
So, I've got a quick hit. Critical movements. In a week where you do not want to have movements or you want to have movement, depending on which side you're on. Let's start with the 1A girls. Listen to this. Number 16, Sioux Central. Remember that Sioux Central team I highlighted last week, boys and girls? Well, on the girls' side, they beat number 9, Alta, and number 14, Ridgeview. Keep in mind, in 1A, the top 10 are the preferred rankings to go to the state meet because they only take 2 to the state meet. It's not like the top 3 in the other classes. So, what do you think of that?
That's a lot of upsets right there. Not just taking down one team, but multiple in the same week. And they've been on our radar the last few weeks. I think they were on the Welcome to the Zone a couple weeks ago. Deservedly so. Getting hot at the right time.
And then ACGC in that 1A girls over number 8 Panorama. So number 11 over number 8 in the 1A girls. So we're going to see some movement there. And I should say, there's 8 sites in 1A. In the top 2 make it.
Yeah.
8 sites, top 2. Top 10 doesn't really matter. But you definitely don't want to be creeping down towards 15, 16, 17, 18 at this point in time. So a big deal for Sioux Central at 16 to beat those teams ahead of them. 2A girls, number 11 Denver over number 7 Sumner Fred and number 9 Hudson.
Hands down their best meet of the season. Another team getting hot at the right time. That was my preseason number 1. It's still going to be tough for them to get in the conversation with Van Meter, Mid Prairie, Forest City. But
They're trending.
trending in the right direction for sure.
2A boys. Number 16, Anamosa over number 11, Tipton, and number 13, Jessup. Big move there for Anamosa to get off that bubble line.
I think so too. They were kind of floating in that area a good chunk of the season. Big meet at the right time. Those conversations are happening as we speak. That could be a big, big bonus for Anamosa this week.
I have a small plug here. Little Hawkeye Conference meet tomorrow night. I just have a feeling, Kyle, and I might look stupid saying this, so I'd look stupid pretty much every week anyways. So, Dallas Center Grimes girls. I have a sneaky suspicion that they're going to take a shot at Pella. I don't think they're going to beat them. Now, this is going to be probably posted all over social media on Pella. I'll have a video recording on a video they make or audio on their video to inspire them. But I think this DCG girls team is going to run within 20 points of Pella tomorrow night.
And that's DCG, Pella Christian, Indianola.
Yep.
There's one more I'm missing, I feel, but
I think they match up fairly well. Now, they're not – Pella's better,
yeah.
but you got Farabee and Messerly. Be a good race. Farabee probably the favorite there. The question is, will Pella put 2 in before Messerly?
I don't think so.
Okay. And then if Maddie Stevens runs like she did at Southeast Polk when she was second last week, she didn't run at Fort Dodge. They match up pretty well 2 for 2, and then you look at the depth. Who has better depth? Probably Pella, but I don't think it's going to be much of a difference, so we'll see. I either going to look really smart or not.
And I can't remember. It's only like a 6-team meet or something,
It's
isn't
a
it?
small one.
And to me, 20 points in the small meet like that is still quite a bit. Like, I don't know. That's how I feel on it.
DCG girls, the defending champions in this meet.
I'm going to go opposite. I don't think they give Pella a scare.
Okay.
I just feel too confident in them. But they do need some motivation. They can't get too comfortable. So,
Hey, no one would have thought City High would have been within a point of Cedar Falls.
true.
So,
And that's tomorrow, Monday?
it's tomorrow.
All right. I'm going to get a text at like whatever time, right when that race ends. Hopefully there's cell phone service there. Someone can let us know.
It's in Newton. So, and in the boys' Little Hawkeye Conference meet, this is a heck of a meet.
Ooh, that's a tough course too, isn't it?
You've got Norwalk, probably the favorite. The complete wild card of all wild cards, Dallas Center Grimes. If they're healthy and everybody runs, they could win. You've got Pella. You've got Indianola. It's a good meet. So
Yes.
watch out for that one tomorrow on Monday.
That's going to be an awesome one.
4A boys, last one. Big mover. Lewis Central, number 14. They knock off number 6 Waukee, number 10 Johnston, number 11 Indianola, and number 12 DCG. How about that? For the last week of possible movement, and you knock off 4 teams inside the top 12, especially in your first year of 4A. Big deal for Lewis Central.
I don't know. Me looking from afar, I don't even know if they ran that particular well. What were they up there?
6th.
6. Man, like their top 3 is pretty solid. Evan Lilly, we've talked about him, the freshman, and he came in 38th. Man, they got a little drop from 4 to 5, but that's an impressive performance for them. I way overlooked that one.
A valuable trip to Fort Dodge
For sure.
for them on the bubble.
They're not afraid to travel.
And then to top that one, how's this? Number 13 Centennial beat all of the above and number 5 Ankeny to get off the bubble for this week.
You called it moving week.
Movement week. So there you go. There's my quick hits. Do you have any others?
No, we got a lot of them this week.
Okay. Are we ready for a quick question? What's our results there on Twitter?
Yes. So we have, let me just get an update here. With 33 total votes, we have a
43.
clear winner of Gatorade with approximately 70% of the vote. And then Body Armor and Powerade are tied with 12%. And then Prime came in fourth with 6%. So most people do prefer Gatorade.
All right. I'd say that's probably what I expected. And do we have a
I wanted more votes.
Yeah, one of our lower vote totals. What's up with that?
We do have a winner in the other one.
Okay.
You got it?
Yes.
Okay.
So the correct answer was Rebecca Tomham. She ran
Topham.
She won 4 individual state titles, I believe, from 2011 through 2014. And the correct person that got it right was Chad Larson.
Coach Larson from Norwalk.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Coach, we'll get you a hat. Hopefully you come to the coaches meeting in November 17th at Northwest, and I'll give it to you. But congratulations. Yes, Rebecca Topham of Griswold. She was a really good runner. I think she went to Wichita State. Is that right?
Yep.
Really good runner there for Griswold. So, yeah. Big week, everyone. Conference championship time. Those JV runners, probably the last go at it this week. Best of luck to them. Next week, really busy week for us. Hey, do we have that graphic with our schedule from last week? Okay. I forgot to tell you to do that. So we go to Monday night next week, correct, at 7. And we'll flash our schedule up here at some point. I forgot that. My apologies. And it's a huge episode. We're going to have state qualifying meet previews. We don't get a lot of time to recap the conference meets because next week is all about the state qualifying meet. So we're going to see how that goes. We've had some emails this week. How are we going to do it this year with the live stream? Usually we have a separate episode for every class. We are not going to do that with the live stream. So we're going to put Joel to work, get him some state qualifying meet sites to research. And, yeah, we'll see. Hey, we didn't do the Raccoon River Conference girls.
I said
spinner.
that. You went right by it.
Because we had a guest picker.
Yep. Could have my first celebrity guest picker of the week.
All right, so the Raccoon River Conference girls meet. Heck of a competition coming up on Tuesday.
Yes, at Winterset. I think he has it on the computer unless you X'd it out.
Oh, the forecast. So, Kyle's not participating in the pick because he's coaching in the meet. Kirk Herbstreit.
That's right. My keys to the game.
We've got Winterset, Gilbert, Adel, Ballard, and North Polk, all with a fair chance of winning. Joel, who are you picking?
I'm picking Boone.
Okay.
They're going to be really good in a year.
They've got consistency in the top 5. Obviously, they're a top 4-ish, but, I mean, they're up there. They have a chance.
All right. Sounds good. I'm going to go with, man, it's just a fascinating setup because Winterset's got the 4 girls. And in a smaller meet, Gilbert's running better right now. Adel's running better. Ballard's got the low stick. I'm going to go with Winterset. I think those top 4 in a small meet will make a huge difference in the final score.
I'm excited. Those are 5 good teams. I think they've taken turns beating each other quite a bit this year, but I will send you updates as soon as I know.
I don't know why Joel's laughing at me. All right. Where's that meet at?
Winterset.
Oh, good course. All right. Do you have anything else to add to that?
I'm good.
Okay.
It was a last-minute decision here.
Yeah.
I put him on the spot. I'm sorry, Joel.
You're good.
Year one prank.
I don't think so. Didn't
Hey,
intend for
hey.
it to be.
Boone's going to be in the mix next year.
They're
Watch
solid.
out for the Toreadors.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With that, here's our schedule for the rest of the way. Next Monday, 7 p.m., October 21st, state qualifying meet preview show. Then the following Monday and the following Monday is how we'll go the rest of the way here. We do not have our final episode listed on there because that is to be determined, which is our way too early rankings. All right. Anything else, Kyle?
Have a fun week. Best of luck, everybody. Enjoy it these next couple weeks. It can be stressful, but just enjoy it.
For sure. All right. We will be back next week on Monday. Big show, state qualifying meet preview show. Have a great week. Those qualifying meet pairings or groupings come out, I think, on Tuesday or Wednesday. So be ready to watch for those. And we will take a look at those in depth next week on the Exchange Zone. Best of luck this week. We'll be back next Monday at 7 on the Exchange Zone.